empowering others to be the best that they can be. You have inspired academic excellence. You have aided all of the colleges at Downstate by steering key programs through the labyrinth of the New York State educational system. You took Downstate's Commission on Higher Education, a monumental task. All this, and you've also served as a commissioner for the Middle States Association of Colleges and Schools and a trustee for the Arthur Ashe Institute for Urban Health. And you helped the Ashe Institute create the Health Science Academy, a pipeline program for high school students in Brooklyn. Dr. Bradley, for your contributions to education, for your many years of extraordinary service to SUNY Downstate Medical Center, and for the leadership and inspiration you have shown to your colleagues and students alike, SUNY Downstate is pleased to grant you the A. Lanthus Award. Dr. Martin J. Salvo, will you please step forward? Dr. Martin Salvo, you are an expert in the study and diagnosis of disease processes. Your close attention to detail has also made you excel as a medical historian. In 2010, as part of Downstate's sesquicentennial activities, you conceived, edited, and produced Downstate at 150, a celebration of achievement. He actually gave me that book. I wasn't here a week. He was in my office. Celebration is a collection of essays that detail the careers and contributions of 150 individuals who were educated or worked at Downstate since its founding in 1860. As you wrote in the preface, quote, "We stand on the shoulders of giants. These colleagues have changed the world and the lives of many people. They should not be forgotten," end quote. You graduated from Downstate in 1957, returning in 1979 as a clinician and educator. Your commitment to excellence is reflected in your appointment as Downstate Distinguished Service Professor in 1993. You are highly regarded for your clinical acumen and diagnostic skills. Always, you have kept in mind that behind each specimen, behind the microscope, there is a patient in need of care. You have said that Downstate changed your life and that you are Downstate a debt for this gift of an outstanding education. In your service to the College of Medicine, Alumni Association, and many other areas, you have repaid that debt many times over. Dr. Salvin, for your contributions to healthcare and education, for your mentorship of students and residents, and for your many years of dedication to the campus, SUNY Downstate Medical Center is pleased to bestow upon you the A. Lanthus Award. Dr. Thomas A. Farley, please step forward. Dr. Thomas A. Farley is Commissioner of Health for New York City. He oversees one of the world's oldest and largest public health agency, and he is responsible for safeguarding the health, well-being of the people of New York City. Dr. Farley ranks as one of the most innovative health commissioners in the city's history. His campaigns to improve the health of New Yorkers are legion, successful, and frequently controversial. Dr. Farley, I would like to thank you for joining us today. I know that your comments and advice for our graduates will be memorable.
Thank you, President Williams. First, let me just say that when Dean Imperato asked me to speak to you today, I jumped at the chance. I was thrilled. First, because I had the opportunity to welcome you, the graduates, as my newest colleagues, New York City physicians and New York City public health professionals. And second, because I have to say, all my life I've dreamed of a chance to play Carnegie Hall. But seriously, it's great to have an opportunity to talk today to people who are graduating both in medicine and people who are graduating in public health. And I thought I'd take the opportunity to speak a little bit about a topic which addresses both medicine and public health. So medicine, first, is undergoing a transformation. Now, you could always say that about medicine, but it is especially true today. We are understanding disease and developing treatments at increasingly smaller scales. A long time ago, we understood disease only at the level of the individual. Someone was sick or not. Then we began to understand disease at the level of the organ. Someone was sick because this or that organ was diseased. Then we began to understand disease at the cellular level. That someone was sick because their cells were sick, or a particular type of cell was sick. And I'd say we're now at the culmination of that understanding of the body and medicine at the cellular level with the new NIH Brain Initiative, which aims to understand the human brain at a more detailed level than we've ever had before. The brain is the body's most complicated organ by orders of magnitude over any other organ. It has 100 billion neurons and trillions of connections among them. And the goal of this initiative is to map all of those connections. A map which would be fundamental to our understanding of neurologic and psychiatric disease. But beyond understanding of disease at the cellular level, we are now beginning to understand disease at the level of the macromolecule. The Human Genome Project has spawned a revolution in genomics. We now already have drugs that are tailored to specific cancer genes, and people are talking about personalized medicines, drugs that are specifically tailored to the macromolecules that may be diseased in an individual patient. In fact, some have defined the progress in medicine over the years as progress measured by an increasingly powerful microscope. But there's another transformation going on, and that transformation is going on in public health. We're understanding the health not of individuals, but of populations. This is a transformation where we're looking at increasingly larger scales. Like advances in medicine, this one is made possible by new technology. But in this case, new technology is not a microscope, it is more powerful computers. We now have analyses and visualizations of data which we can combine across many people, giving us the ability to see a population in the same way that we can see individuals with our own eyes, and we can see cells with a microscope. So for example, here in New York City, we now have a project to aggregate data across electronic health records that are used by 1,000 providers serving more than 1 million patients. We've already used this to graph an entire bell-shaped curve of body mass index for more than 500,000 New Yorkers. It gives us a picture of a population. We're developing a similar graph like that for blood pressure. Now, by the way, this is all done blinded. We never have any information on an individual patient. We can only see the aggregation of the entire population. And we call this tool the macroscope. Something we are developing and we're validating, and this is just the beginning. Our use of this data to understand populations is only going to get better from here. So why do I think this is transformative? Well, because humans are social animals. We evolved in groups, we live in groups, and we behave in groups. Within these groups, we influence each other. Any population is not just a convenient sampling of individuals, it has its own characteristics as a population. One of my heroes in public health, a man named Jeffrey Rose, said it this way: society is not merely a collection of individuals, it is also a collectivity. And the behavior and health of its individual members are profoundly influenced by its collective characteristics and social norms. So to a certain extent, within a population, we get sick or we get healthy together. And if we want people, not just individuals, but people as a group to be healthier, we can use this understanding. In fact, this might be the best.
By virtue of its authority, I have the honor to present these candidates to the degree of Doctor of Philosophy. Each has satisfied all of the requirements of the faculty of the School of Graduate Studies at the State University of New York Downstate Medical Center and is deemed worthy of that degree.
By virtue of the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees of the State University of New York,
of Medicine, and in the name of the faculty, and by virtue of its authority, I have the honor to present these candidates to the degree of Doctor of Medicine. Upon completion of the curriculum, they will have satisfied the requirements and have been recommended by the faculty of the College of Medicine of the State University of New York, Downstate Medical Center, and deemed worthy of the degree.
By virtue of the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees of the State University of New York, upon completion of all requirements, I confer upon each of you whose name appear on a diplomas the degree of Doctor of Medicine, with all the rights, privileges, and responsibilities appertaining hereto.
Amit H. Alam. Dr. Idris Amin. Dr. Anika K. Anam.
Unhook it. You're not allowed to front bar. Это другие лица там.
Dr. Karen Young Ha. Dr. Habib Hamoud. Dr. Gavin Hudson Harris. Dr. Zohair Hassan. Dr. Cindy Chris Hernandez. Dr. Lisa Dr. Farad Azim Hussain. Dr. Kimberly Jablan. Dr. Mikhail Kagan.